In this video, we will build a Ryzen gaming PC step by step from building the PC to installing Windows. So let's jump right in and start building. Step 1. Take out the motherboard from its box and place it on top of the motherboard box. Step 2. Take your processor out of the box, then lift up the retention arm on the processor socket. Take your processor, line it up with the gold triangle marked on your processor with the grey triangle marked on your motherboard. Step 3. Take out the processor brackets if you're installing the stock cooler like I am on this build. If you have a different processor cooler, then refer to the instructions in the manual of that processor cooler. Step 4. Apply thermal paste if needed. If your stock cooler hasn't been used before, then it will have pre-applied thermal paste, so you can skip this step. Step 5. Place cooler lined up over the 4 holes in the motherboard backplate, then screw the cooler in. Try to tighten each side a bit, then move to the next side in an X pattern. Bottom right, top left, top right, bottom left. Step 6. Insert the processor fan cable into the CPU fan header on the motherboard. Step 7. Take out the RAM from its box, then open the tabs at slot 2 and slot 4 for dual channel memory. Then simply line up the notch in the RAM with the notch on the motherboard and push the RAM into the slot. Step 8. Take out the NVMe drive from the box, then insert the drive into the M.2 top slot on the motherboard. You will just need to line up the notch on the motherboard and the drive, then push it in at about 45-degree angle. After that, push the drive down and screw it down with a small screw provided in the box. You may need to use a precision Phillips head screwdriver for this.
Step 9. Take your case out of the box, then take the side panel off as shown. After that, turn the case over to the front and remove the tempered glass side panel as shown. Step 10. Remove the screw bag from the case. Step 11. Remove the two PCI covering brackets for the graphics card. This motherboard uses the second and third slots for the graphics card, so remove slots 2 and 3. Step 12. Take the back plate from the motherboard box and insert it into the case as shown. You may need to remove the back case fan, as this can get in the way a little. Step 13. Insert any additional standoffs that aren't already pre-installed in the case. Step 14. Take the motherboard and insert it into the case. Make sure you line up all the standoffs correctly. Step 15. Take the correct motherboard screws and screw in the motherboard into the case at each standoff. Step 16. Go to the back of the case and feed the power button front cable connector through the bottom right gap in the case and insert it into the correct pin header. You can optionally insert the reset hard drive LED and power LED pin headers too if you want to. Step 17. Go to the back of the case and feed the audio front panel connector through the bottom left gap in the case and insert it into the correct pin header. Step 18. Take the USB 3 panel connector and feed it through the side gap and insert it into the USB panel header on the motherboard as shown. Step 19. Take out your power supply and install it into the case as shown. Step 20. Insert the 24 pin connector from the power supply to the 24 pin header on the motherboard. Make sure the cable clicks into place on the motherboard so it is seated correctly. Step 21. Insert the 8-pin CPU connector from the power supply to the 8-pin header on the motherboard. Make sure the cable clicks into place on the motherboard so it is seated correctly. Step 22. Take out your graphics card from the box. Make sure the motherboard catches down on the PCI slot, then insert the graphics card into the slot. You may need to remove the blanking covers on this case to do this as shown. You will then just need to take the 6-pin PCI connector from the power supply and insert it into the graphics card. Step 23. Insert the fan cables into the fan headers on the motherboard. Step 24. Tidy up the loose cables at the back of the case and put the case back cover on and the case front tempered glass cover back on. Step 25. Enable XMP in your BIOS as shown. Step 26. Install Windows 10 by inserting the Windows 10 USB and following the on-screen steps as shown. Step 27. Install all your drivers required, then you are complete and ready to install your games. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.